Glee's Dianna Agron takes on a decidedly very different role in the psychological horror thriller Clock. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the film Clock. This is on Hulu right now, streaming for you. It is a sci-fi thriller, psychological horror. It fits into a few different boxes. But before we launch into the specifics on the movie, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews for you to check out on the channel. Please consider subscribing down below too. Would love to have you aboard there, or just like this video, share it on your socials. Three, two. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the movie Clock. This is streaming right now on Hulu. You can check it out there, and it is a sci-fi horror psychological thriller. It fits into a few different boxes. But before we launch into the specifics of the movie, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a bunch of great movie and TV reviews for you to check out there, and please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you on board that way. Also, like this video, share it on your socials, comment below, all that stuff does help the channel out. So as I said, this stars Glee's Dianna Agron, and I don't believe I've really seen her in anything since Glee wrapped up. She's done a couple of movies along the way. She had a minor role in Burlesque, which is kind of a culty movie that I really like. It's sort of corny, but, great music and everything. So she was in that. She actually did a voice in Ralph Breaks the Internet, but, we didn't see her. But other than that, I don't think, I even really knew she was still doing a whole lot out there. But it was interesting to see her in this because it's, obviously very, very different from her role on Glee. But the basic premise here is that she plays this woman, Ella, who is 37, completely not interested in having kids, even though everybody in her family is kind of pressuring her on that. Her friends keep asking her, oh, when are you going to have kids? And so she is, starting to think, oh, maybe, something's going on with me. I have no interest in this. So she talks to her doctor, who recommends her to this specialist played by The Office's Jan Levinson Gould, Melora Hardin. And she basically says, your biological clock might be, quote unquote, broken. And we need to, fix it for you. So, join me in this sort of study group, this focus group, to sort of test this new method. And it goes from there. And turns into more of a thriller and a horror at that point. So this is a very interesting movie. So this was written and directed by first timer Alexis Jacknow. This is based on a 2010 short film that she did, which was also called Clock. But she's a first timer here, and essentially, this is a thriller, horror movie for a subsect that we don't really encounter a lot. Most horror movies either are about, teenagers in the woods, or whatever, it's some sort of teenager, young adult thing, or, families like, The Conjuring, Insidious, a lot of that stuff. We don't often see horror movies sort of from this perspective, certainly from the more female perspective too. And I do believe that was sort of Jack Now's point in writing it this way. Perhaps she's, I don't know, struggled with childbirth or not wanting to have kids or whatever herself, and sort of wanted to sort of couch these messages into a horror movie to, I don't know, maybe make it more palatable for mainstream audiences. But the symbolism here is maybe a little too on the nose sometimes, but the metaphors and the symbolism, I think, really work well for this story. And it really sort of, the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so, when she's really, being pressured by her family and friends to have a baby. It's like we see this so often in society. It's like the expectation, right? You must have a baby, after you get married, and it's something Jennifer Aniston, has spoken about many times. She famously has always been asked, her whole career, oh, when are you going to have a baby, and all this stuff. And it is, look, not everybody can have children, and for this character, kind of unsure because she doesn't ever want to try. But certainly it is a societal like norm, and I think it's an interesting way to sort of couch these messages into a sci-fi horror thriller psychological kind of thing. So in that respect, it's certainly unique. Now the things that I could say maybe are not as unique are, once we get into sort of the horror aspect. I prefer this as more of a psychological thriller than as a straight out horror movie. I think when it goes a little too more into that territory, it becomes, very routine. And we lose, I think, a lot of sort of what made maybe the first, I don't know, half, well, yeah, probably about half. What made that a little bit more special. But I will say, Agron's performance for someone who really I only know from Glee, and okay, Burlesque. But and I only watched Glee maybe 2 seasons. So to see her in this completely other realm was interesting because I thought she did a great job. She really, could be like a scream queen or something. I think she did a really, really good job with the horror stuff. As sort of routine as that was, she performed well in it. But I think she actually might have a future in, some drama kind of stuff. She really kind of nailed, all the aspects of this role. It was frankly a little surprising, not to sort of diminish her, but, I only knew her in Glee, which was sort of, kind of a fluffy show, yeah, it tackled some serious issues certainly, but, it was a musical comedy for all intents and purposes. So, so I was a little surprised by that as well. But, I think on the psychological thriller aspect, nailed it. Maybe a little too heavy-handed and on the nose with the metaphors and stuff, but I think it worked because it was different, and then sort of veered into some more routine territory. So overall, I thought this was decent. I'm going to give Clock a B minus, and you can catch that now on Hulu if you're interested. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.